A solid routine isn't about willpower, it's about structure. And let's be real, most plans fail just because they're not sustainable. Today, we're here to fix that on the Unbreakable Parents podcast. Let's dive in. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Unbreakable Parents podcast. I'm your host, Devontae Erlinson, and I'm super excited to be here with you. I am tired, so I was yawning there at the beginning of the episode. That's all right. We're here to kill it. It's 5:38 in the morning. I got 2 more podcasts to do today. We're almost there, but we're getting after it. And let's just get this one out the way because I'm kind of in my routine for the morning following some of the stuff I'm actually going to talk about with you all today. So we're here to obviously talk about routines. And I think one thing about routines that I always want to start off with is this is your journey. So whatever you hear me talk about today, whatever you hear somebody else talk about, pick up on things and start to use things. Cherry pick what sounds like it might work for you and use it in your life. And if it's something that won't work for you, bye. Throw it out the window. We don't need it. So let's go through some of this today. Core discussion. First off, we got to talk about, I apologize. Daylight savings time has me messed up. So why most routines fail? I know first and foremost from experience myself and also having clients go through this time and time again. When they come to me and they're like, oh, I've tried this, and I've tried all these things. I'm also guilty of. You just overcomplicate things too much. I know it's hard not to, but especially in today's world, and that's the thing is, if you're on social media and you don't have your social media kind of curated to show you the things that you want to be seeing outside of the vanity of fitness and health, so people posting butt pics, ab pics, all that fucking dumb stuff. Yes, I've posted shirtless pics before too, every now and again, but I'm talking people who are on there and that's all they freaking post about. I don't think that's going to add much value to what you're trying to accomplish. I know it didn't add anything to what I was trying to accomplish, and I still even have aesthetic goals. And then it really made me overcomplicate the amount of stuff that I have to do in order to see the results that I truly do care about. Now, it's also really fun to overcomplicate things, I guess you could say. Training's fun, to me at least. So if you're into training, I get overcomplicating it. But then from the other end, if you're not, we also have social media just influxing with information all the time. And if you're somebody who's new to this, I can only imagine how that feels, because I be looking around somebody who went through their degree in exercise science. Now I'm studying in psychology. I have degrees in biomechanics, movement, nutrition, all that good stuff. I hop on there and I low-key get confused sometimes, so I understand it. Now that'd be the first reason why I see plans fail, right? Or I guess these 3 things would play a role into why I think that most plans aren't sustainable. And that would be the first thing, is overcomplicating things. The second thing would have to be it's just not flexible enough for their life specifically. Now, this goes into a really important topic that I just said at the beginning of the episode. If you have seen all the morning routines out there, if you've seen all the night routines out there, if you've seen the millionaire routines out there, then I'm pretty confident that you've probably tried to take almost exactly what they said to do or what they do and then tried to do it. Now, there's nothing inherently wrong with that. Here's the thing. Their life, your life. They're on two different ends of the spectrum. They're nowhere near each other because that was weird. That's a weird sound coming from outside. Because you are both two individuals who have two completely different lives going on. I mean, for God's sakes, you could take two skateboarding dudes who are dads, i.e., me and one other dad who skates. We both could be mixed males. We both could have kids. We both could have a wife. But the way we need to train, the way we need to eat, our sleep, all that stuff can be drastically different based on a lot of different things, right? I mean, we can go down a laundry list of that, and I'm not going to get into that here this morning. But just think things like injury, your work schedule, your style of training that you prefer to do. What is your true goal in fitness and health, but with life in general, right? Like there's so much that goes into it. So if that's the case, and you try to just take, I don't know, Liver King's freaking, I don't know why I said that dude's name. You take anybody's routine that you idolize on social media and you pick it up and you plop it into your life. It's going to be very rigid. It's going to be a very rigid thing because it's like, okay, I have to stick to this mold of how they did it in order for me to see their results. That's not what you're looking for. You're looking for your own results, right? Like, I get like, oh, here's the thing too, like seeing somebody who has a jacked body, all that stuff, and aspiring to have your own body that is jacked as well, that's not a bad thing to me. It's where we say, oh, I want to look just like that. Like, you're not going to. We all have different genetics. We're all built different. Like, I've had to accept that myself. But I still can look at these dudes who are jacked and be like, okay, look, I want to build my jacked body, right? I think that's just like the verbiage and the mentality we need to come out with it. And then that can help you maybe take that plan and take maybe 2 or 3 things from that morning routine and put it into your routine. And now it's a lot more flexible and moldable into your life. Last thing on this list when it comes to why routines fail would just be lack of accountability. Now, it's hard. It's not easy, especially if, if you're single, maybe you're just dating and stuff. You don't have somebody that you live with technically. I could see that being much, much, much more difficult as well. I'm blessed to have my wife, and then also I've had an amazing coach for a while that he's not currently like my coach right now, but we still talk and stuff. I have mentors in my circle. I've been very blessed to come into some pretty amazing people in my life who help hold me accountable, and I hope you're all able to do the same for yourself. Now, that doesn't mean that I also don't hold myself accountable. I'm actually probably my hardest critic, which can be good and bad at times. That being said, when I get too critical of myself, but then I also don't lean on my support systems, the people who help me stay accountable, and also just kind of like tell me how it is when it needs to be told how it is, I start to slip on the things I know I need to be doing. So, really, the only thing I want to say there is, have some type of system with yourself. Weekly check-in. I missed mine last night. Damn it. I'll have to do this morning. Um, get yourself a weekly check-in. Check in with yourself. I do a multitude of things. So I'll run through my training. I'll run through my nutrition. I'll run through my lifestyle. My lifestyle, my work and school, and my relationship. That's a lot. You don't have to do all that. You can just focus on literally like one or two things and just go from there. This is something that I've built into over like 3 years of doing this. It takes time, it really does, but choose maybe one or two things that you yourself can be like, okay, here's what I really want to check in on. How did I do? Maybe when it comes to following my routine, and then maybe how did I do with my relationships or something like that, something that really matters, and then build upon from there. I think that's a great way to start on holding yourself accountable, and then letting the people around you know what's going on, what you're trying to accomplish, why you're trying to accomplish it. I think that's also a key factor here. If you're not doing that, I think you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot. I think you can greatly benefit from just letting people know around you what you're doing, because once they know, they might be like, oh, okay, like good for them. Like, I wonder how I can help. And they might ask that question. And if they don't, you can always let them know how to help you. So I'm not going to harp on why they fail any longer. But remember, why most of these things don't seem sustainable to me. Simply, and this is just, I feel like you probably can look at this and be like, yeah, I mean, that makes total sense. It's just because it gets too overcomplicated. There's no built-in flexibility, making the plan very rigid and hard to keep going. And then last but not least is there's just a lack of accountability. And obviously accountability is key, because not everybody is going to be perfect. And accountability kind of helps us realize like that's the case and I still need to keep going. And if I wasn't perfect, like why was that? Not that you should strive for perfection anyways, because that's bullshit, but yeah. Now let's get into kind of some of the AXEARE. Shout out to AXEARE Coaching. If you didn't know, that's who the Unbreakable Parents podcast is brought to you by. I am the head coach at AXEARE. I am certified in nutrition and personal training. Like I said at the beginning, currently studying psychology and working on some stuff in mindset as well. Very, very excited to be dropping this podcast for you all today. And if you guys need anything when it comes to nutrition coaching, lifestyle habit stuff, and training techniques, anything like a training program, maybe aches and pains, maybe you're trying to find the right training program for an upcoming event, let me know down in the description. You can book a free call, no sales incentives. I just want to help you all out. So let us know how we can help. Now, for now, let me help by giving you the AXEARE Sustainable Routine Method. 3 things, okay? 3 things. You're going to anchor your habits. You're going to utilize the power of 5-minute wins and the Sunday reset. Okay, so let's break these down some further. Anchor your habits. Now, anchoring your habits is something that I'm not going to take credit for whatsoever. It actually comes from the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. And I know he talks about this. I forgot the exact wording that he uses in it, but for me, I'm just going to say anchor your habits. And what that means is take this new habit. Let's say one of my new habits was I wanted to wake up at the same time every single day of the week. That's a really good habit to strive for. Cool. All right. Well, what can I do with that? Let's pair it with a habit that we already do. So maybe that's a bad example because you're just waking up. I just thought about that. Let's do a different one. Let's say you're trying to drink a glass of water after waking up every single day. 16 ounces of water, whatever it might be. All right, sweet. What else do you do right when you wake up? Um, I let my dog outside. Oh, sweet, perfect. Well, when you're letting your dog outside, can you drink that glass of water while you're letting them outside? Yeah, I could do that. Sweet. Let's do that. So now we've anchored that new habit with an already existing habit, making it much easier to accomplish on a regular basis. And there's like a billion things we can talk about when it comes to like how you could even set up your like at night to be more successful for that by like setting out the water, maybe filling up the water so that it's room temperature that way. You could write down. There's a lot of things where you can like set up your environment to be very very successful for you. But go check out Atomic Habits. They talk about more of that stuff. Maybe I'll break it down when I'm almost done with it completely. Maybe I'll break it down a little bit in a video or podcast. But I would say definitely start there. Figure out what's the new habit. Now, what can I pair it with that I already do? Now, the power of 5 minute wins. I like this because me and Coach Baxter talked about something before of every second, every minute, every hour is your chance to either learn or win or lose. The choice is yours. Okay, cool, I like that. Now, how do you lose? Well, it's just if you're not learning, right? And one thing that I kept shooting myself in the foot on was overcommitting to time. Like right now, I have to finish this up in the next couple of minutes because I gotta get my kids up and start making food and get the day going. I still got 2 more podcasts to do. I didn't get the 3 done like I wanted to this morning. That's all good. But what I started to realize was I started to have disdain for wanting to do those things eventually. If I committed too much time to it, and then like I would do it one time, like, oh my God, that was so hard. Then by the next time it comes around, it was like way harder for me to want to do it. So now I start with the 5 minute rule. I say, okay, I'm gonna go podcast for 5 minutes. It's exactly what I did this morning. I was very tired. I had to get up with daylight savings. It's like technically I woke up at 3 a.m. Usually I get up at 5 a.m. which would be 6 a.m. It's all confusing right now, but I came in here, set a timer, 5 minutes, started getting some scripting going for the podcasting, some things I wanted to kind of pull on. Well, I guess not scripting, but just things I want to be able to pull on while I talk about the podcast, and then boom, now we're here, 40 minutes into this, and I've recorded I like this episode so far. I hope you're all liking this episode. If you are, please drop a like below. If you're watching on Spotify, give me a heart. I think it's a heart. Let's check. Let's check, my friends, together right now. I need to know. Is it a heart? Yeah, you can like it. Yeah, you can add it to your episodes. But when I'm able to actually just commit to 5 minutes, I'm like, oh wow, okay. Now no matter what, I'm at least gonna learn or I'm gonna win. Because if I don't get exactly what I want to get done within those 5 minutes, it's like, okay, cool. I've learned like 5 minutes isn't quite enough time for that task, and I can keep kind of going if I have the time allotted afterwards to keep going and feel that out a little bit. That comes into play a little bit different. Methods like time blocking and that type of stuff of how you can control your time. But then from there, I could also win. Maybe I do get something done. I feel really good about myself, and then I can continue on and bring those small wins into my day to create really, 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 really big wins. Like that's awesome. I love that. And then of course the Sunday reset. Planning for success. Sundays for me are a huge day for success. The weekends really are. Now, the way I do this is I have Saturdays set up for family days, hanging out with family, doing fun stuff with the kids. Same thing on Sundays, but then Sundays are also a day for me to get up. I either will go out like for a hike myself or by myself. Recently, it's just been walking on the treadmill or hanging out, maybe just relaxing, even just watching some TV in the mornings for a little bit, and then I'll get my day set, but then not just my day, my entire week set on Sundays. So with school, with work, with the kiddos, with the wife, like what are the plans for this week? Who do we got to call? What appointments do we have? What time am I going where? What sessions do I have? What time am I podcasting? All that good jazz. And then, boom, I decompress for the rest of the day. So I try to get that done as fast as I possibly can at the beginning of my day. So now the rest of my Sunday is just chilling. Now, that also goes into like the grocery shopping and stuff, right? Shout out to JoJo. She's actually right above me. But my wife, she does the grocery shopping a lot, and we'll do the either pickup order or I'll go with. And like yesterday, we were at Sam's Club. We got some food and everything with our youngest. We were at the store chilling. But that's kind of what Sundays are for. Like, that's just what we do. We get some things done. Sometimes the kids have play dates set. We'll drop them off at that. And then we'll relax for the rest of the day and boom, kick it into Monday. Now, let's look at this from like a real life parenting perspective real quick before I got to hop off because I do got to go. I got to make some breakfast. The AM routine. Get up, get yourself moving, get some hydration, and really set some intention. Now, I actually have a challenge for you all. I would say flip it on its head, and I would put the intention setting with the evening wind down. Talk about that in a second. So in the morning, get up, drink some water, move your body a little bit. Boom, get about your day, right? Get up, drink some water, get some movement in. Get some fluids in. You've been sleeping. We've talked about hydration in other episodes. We have the Eat to Thrive program if you really want to learn more about why that's important for you, your body, and being an unbreakable parent. Now, when it comes to that, just you don't have to move a bunch. It could be on the ground doing mobility stuff. It could be a quick little walk in the backyard, even just like some hip circles and some shoulder circles and some neck circles. If you can get outside, that's always really cool. And then the midday boost, right? I know a lot of us deal with some of that midday crash stuff going on. So standing up and stretching throughout your day can really help combat that. And then also nutrition check-in. I don't know if you've listened to some of our recent episodes, but I know we did an episode more on that about your energy, your body and its energy, and what really starts to happen when we're not eating enough to allow our bodies to thrive, and now we're just trying to survive, okay? Now, the evening wind down, taking it back to what I said earlier, we're going to prepare for better sleep, whatever that might look for you, but I suggest things like blue blocker glasses, getting away from the lights and all that crap, doing candlelight if you can. If not, blue blocker glasses. I have the Amber ones for at night because they're a lot more powerful. And then I'll kind of journal, or it depends on how I do it. I like to reflect on my day at the end of the day, but then also set my intentions for the next day. So when I wake up, I just know exactly what needs to be done. I'm like, cool, let's get after the day. I don't have to sit there and like waste that time in the morning. That's my brain. That's just me personally. You don't have to do that. That's just how my brain works. But yeah, that's the way to break this down real lifestyle for us parents. Like, it doesn't have to be that complicated. Get some movement in the morning, get some hydration. Midday to get a boost. Make sure you're standing and stretching throughout your day. Movement is lotion. Movement is medicine. Get moving and grooving. And also nutrition check-in. Have you been eating for your demands for the day? If not, let's play catch up a little bit. And then evening wind down, we're going to prepare for better sleep. Whatever that might look like for you, it's different for everybody. But signs will show if you can get away from blue light, you can get away from drinking too much water before you go to sleep, and you don't eat about 3 hours before bedtime. Those things can really help improve your sleep overall. And then set your intentions for the next day so you can just wake up and focus on having a great day. All right, everybody. I want you to pick one habit to anchor this week and then DM me on which one that is, and also which habit you're choosing to anchor it with. That's really important. Remember, put this new habit with a habit that's already existing to make it really easy and fluid right into your life. All right, everybody. I'm Coach Javante. I'll catch you next time on the Unbreakable Parents Podcast. Time to go make some breakfast for me and my kids.